Throwing it out there. All right, let's hit on tight ends real quick. This is a terrible position group this week.
Yeah, it's not great.
Jim, why don't you lead us off and just knock out a few your guys?
I'm not super high in Gesicki. I hope Fance is active because I would like to play him. That's another guy that if we're looking at teams are actively looking to get him the ball, and they are.
He's a monster, dude. Like, he looks like he belongs in a level higher than the NFL sometimes. He's a fucking monster.
Drew Locke, I think, is going to be back this week.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel a lot better than whoever Rippin was throwing picks against the Jets and like, God.
Yeah.
I like Hawkinson this week. The guy that I'm going to go to that, he just has looked horrible this year. But Vinny brought it up earlier, and I think this actually helps him out more than it helps the quarterback out for production-wise, is Zach Ertz.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be down in this game. They're going to have to throw the ball. Ertz having Jeffrey and Jackson and other pieces in there really helps him out, right? Because he does most of his work in the 5 to 25-yard range from the line of scrimmage, right? With those guys out, they've had to try and get him the ball more and more, and they've really just forced it to him. So, he hasn't been horrible. Last week he was horrible, but the weeks before that, 7 points, 14 points, 9 points, and he's priced down now at $5,000. So he's going to be low owned. I'll take a stab on him. The guy that if I'm going to go pay down, is Austin Hooper.
You stole my guy.
He actually
even with the Joker back?
Yeah, that's fine. He has one of the highest target shares per route run in the entire NFL this year. He's like number 6, but like right behind Adam Thielen. So like every time he runs a route, like they're actively looking to throw him the ball. He gets a lot of red zone looks. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball that effectively in the red zone with the Steelers defense. So at 3,900, that's a guy I'll go to. Njoku, he's coming off injury. Okay. A guy that I'm basically just like full fading this week because everyone saw him catch all of those touchdowns is Jonnu Smith. And Jonnu Smith looks great, but at the end of the day, this year, he's got 18 catches and 5 touchdowns. That's simply a touchdown rate that is unsustainable and is going to regress at some point.
And check this out. He was a limited practice. He has a little quad injury he's dealing with this, a little, small tissue injury. They just played on Tuesday.
Yep.
And they're going to play on Sunday. I don't know. I'm with you, Jim. The whole Jonnu Smith, like I've been on him all year, man. I was on him before the season. He is great. But I don't know.
Good,
short
right?
week, little muscle injury. I don't know.
And in the weeks that I was playing him earlier in the season, right, he was down in the 4,000 range, 4,000, 4,200. He's 5,200 this week. So I'd rather pay $100 more and play Hawkinson, or I'd rather drop down $200 to play Ertz. Last week, they didn't have Davis. They didn't have Humphreys. They just had a limited amount of weapons out there. All those guys coming back is just going to take touchdown looks away from Jonnu, and that's really where they still look for him. And, they were actively targeting Anthony Firkser, which, again, won me some money in Showdown at $200 in that game. A lot more than I had expected, right? Maybe it's because Jonnu was hurt. Maybe it was the lack of options in the receiving game. But he's a guy that, is going to get talked about, and a lot of people are going to play this week that I'm just going to take the stance to full fade him. And if it hurts me, like, okay, that's okay. But he could also have 1 catch for 4 yards this week, and that wouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make mine real quick. We're on pretty much the same guys. The only one you didn't mention, which I figure is pretty self-explanatory, is Mark Andrews, if you can get there. But Andrews, Fant, Hawkinson, Ertz, Hooper. That's where I'm going. And I'm not going below Hooper. I just think like below that, and even that is like a little risky, but like the target shares aren't there. You're literally just, if you're going to do that, you may as well pick the cheapest guy on the slate and just like.
So I've got one guy all the way down, and I'll wait to see if Joey says it or not.
All right, Joe.
All right, so if I'm paying up for anyone, it's going to be Fanton Hawkinson. I'm fading Jasecki. I'm fading Andrews this week. I like Ertz, especially if he's got those receivers back. This could be, honestly, one of those really dart plays with a full Philadelphia Eagles stack, Wentz, Ertz, Deshaun, and you could really run it up if they start, pummeling Baltimore a little bit. You never know. It's the NFL.
And it's just more
another guy
on Ertz. Like they can't.
Exactly.
They have to play a little bit more balanced, which opens things up. So
yes.
Yep. Another guy that I really like, and I don't like that I like him, but he's been doing pretty decent for me. I just don't like how much he's priced up as Jimmy Graham. He's 5,000, but he's always in. He's lining up on the slot. He's getting targets. He gets red zone targets. He got one touchdown actually that last week, and then he actually ended up converting on the same drive. So he's getting the red zone target, so I kind of like him. Another person I like is Evan Ingram, even though the New York Giants offense is absolutely abysmal, but so is the Washington Redskins, or the Washington Potatoes defense is fucking terrible too. So Evan Ingram could be a play this week. Another guy I'm kind of interested in is Gronk. Ever since O.J. Howard went out, he's starting to get some more targets. It looks like, he's starting to get the feel back for the NFL again. So Gronk might be a guy I go with.
If Evans is out and Godwin is in, I might have Gronk in a lineup or two.
Yeah. So I'm interested in Gronk, down at like 4,700 there. If I'm going cheap, and this is going to sound the weirdest one ever because he does not get targets, but it is Kyle Rudolph for the Minnesota Vikings at 3,700. Now, my only reasoning, 3,700, and he's proven that he is a goal line machine. And he did it a couple times last year where he gets all of his touchdowns in one game. And this could be the game against Atlanta where he just snakes Thielen and Jefferson and steals 2 or 3 touchdowns on only 3 targets. And Rudolph is a weird one. He's a complete dart at 3,700. He might give me 2 points. He might give me 20. Who knows? But Rudolph's my guy. If I'm going really down, he's my weird cross my fingers. They get on the goal line and they got to pass it to him. Because Madison can't run on the goal line.
Jim's taking the side of that formation.
Yep, $2,500, Irv Smith. They actively try and throw him the ball. He hadn't really been involved all year. They finally got him involved against Seattle. Had 7 targets, 4 catches for 64 yards. If he does that again at $2,500, great.
Right.
I'm all in. He's a dynamic athlete, unlike Kyle Rudolph, who,
hey, he's a one-handed machine, dude.
Great. Fantastic. He's a one-handed telephone pole that just stands there in the end zone. So, he's $2,500, right? It allows you to open it up. I really like him in the game stack with like Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, and then you could play Jefferson and Irv Smith running it back, right? Lets you get a little bit weird, lets you get a little bit different, gets you off the chalk of Ridley a little bit. And again, at $2,500, it just opens up so much for you that you can kind of go elsewhere. If you are going to go down to one of these $2,500 or $3,000 guys, I'm not playing 2 of these guys in the same lineup. That would be a real lightning ride to play like Jeff Smith and Irv Smith together. That maybe that's it. Maybe I just hit on it. Play the Smith brothers and you'll be okay. But,
play the right Smith guys. There's like 20 of them in the, in the roster pool.
Hey, those are the 2 that I'm playing this week. No, $2,500. Look, I'm going to have him in a couple lineups. I'm not just going to play him by himself. I'll play him in those game stacks that I'm playing, like with Cousins, Thielen, and Smith, right? I mean, that's it. He could get you 0, right? But he could also get, 4 for 64. And if one of those turns into a touchdown, now we're talking 16 points. Now we're 8-9x value. And like, that's really looking good for your lineups at like sub 1% ownership.
I like it.